Our country has been in war for the last 30 years, ever since I remember.
Once there's a war, your first priority is that how to get out of it.
Shooting, killing, land confiscations, forced labor, torture, rape.
I was tied up, just waiting to be slaughtered. I was saved by one of the militias.
STARTS exist because of the refugee influx and the issues that they carry with them.
20 years ago things were so different. There was often a belief that it was better not to talk to kids about their experience because it would only make them too upset, and so they were just left to often suffer in silence.
This is a particular music therapy for these young people to know more about identity, emotion and feeling, teamwork while they're playing music.
We drum and learn new rhythms.
Many of them have experienced warfare. Many of them do not know whether their parents or siblings are still alive.
People get used to the violence. They don't see having nightmares or flashbacks as being abnormal. And we ask you, have you been traumatized? No. What about being exposed to killings or shootings or other things? Yes, I've had that.
Does anyone remember what are feelings and emotions? Good. In the beginning, some of them were shy, but now you can see that they are more enjoying and playing and laughing.
Before START started, it was recognized by various service providers and refugee communities that the mainstream health system wasn't meeting the needs of the torture and trauma survivors adequately.
We heard stories of people being incarcerated in mental institutions when really it was their trauma experiences that were the impact.
They did not often understand the problems that made people refugees, and also did not understand the whole experience of torture, the fact that it is a tool of social control.
Physiotherapy particularly then used quite a lot of electrical equipment, and so they would put the electrical equipment on people and then go away to treat another patient and come back and find that person just total state because they might have been tortured using electric shock.
In the mid-80s, a small group was set up and a report was commissioned. The result was a small pilot project that became STARTS.
From the day one, we actually needed to set up in a little tiny house in Fairfield, and it was a very modest beginning really.
As soon as STARTS opened its doors, it had almost a waiting list overnight.
And then we went on and employed a range of bilingual staff to sort of establish really quite a different model of service, which really was that community development model.
Settlement needs like housing, employment, all these things are important, but more important is the emotional thing, the spiritual things.
Many have been languishing long years in refugee camps and have lost hope. So that whole rebuilding of self and identity and community is really a fundamental thing.
I was born in Burma, current state, and I left my country when I was 10 years old.
Counselling is the core of the work we do at STARTS. We mainly see people one-on-one, but we can also counsel couples and families.
When I was in Burma,
During the 1994 genocide, the war was so...
I didn't see my mom where my mom died, you know.
They were killing people without anyone else to know.
The Khmer rule killed the Khmer, and the Khmer doesn't give the Khmer have the life.
I come from Iraq.
I took a refuge in Kenya.
I lost my best friend there because they have killed by the militia.
And then I came here after my children being killed.
Counselling largely looks at the symptoms of torture and trauma, and STARTS has seen thousands of clients over the years.
Very early in START's history, it was decided that while we are helping and providing counselling to parents, that we needed to do something to assist their children and young people. That's where the origins of the first youth camps were.
The youth program is one of the first things that we try to complement counselling and clinical intervention.
Youth camps have many benefits, many psychosocial benefits for young people in terms of developing their self-esteem, having fun, having respite, having time away.
We made available some time for them to talk about their experiences, how they were dealing with things. That worked extremely well. Then we began to have different activities. We began to work more and more with the schools, and those partnerships have continued to be extremely important.
In here is a special class. It's a Capoeira Angola class.
Our Capoeira program has been run in conjunction with STARTS.
The Capoeira helped the kids to be his social person.
These kids are learning a huge amount about how to cooperate with each other.
From Capoeira they have some skill to respect the other person.
We recognize that we work in partnership with a whole lot of other organizations, and they fought to play a big role in training other workers and organizations to work more effectively with survivors of torture and trauma.
My name is Maury Kane. I am the chairperson of Sierra Unite Community Group. I am here to see Jasmina and have a word with her concerning the volunteer grant program. Hey, how are you? Nice. How are you?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
I'm fine.
For the Sierra Unite dinner.
We are interested in submitting an application, so.
Okay. With Mari, I've helped facilitating the group's access to the bus because they needed a bus to take the soccer team to tournaments.
These are the items required.
I've helped with writing funding submissions.
Okay, so you're seeking funding in your own right, yeah?
Yeah.
Sierra Unite is seeking.
Trauma affects not just individuals, but families and communities. And that's why we believe it's really important to work on all levels of social system.
Here is a meeting between the Afghan elders, and we are talking about life in Australia.
As a service provider, we might come in and assist where there might be a skill gap or help bring in the resources that the community otherwise might not have access to.
They come and talk about what problems they have got in the family, in the country, how to overcome these problems.
But ultimately the process, the journey, is the journey that the community is undertaking. And we walk alongside the community for as long as they would like us to do so.
One of the major breakthroughs in terms of how we deliver the services was the development of the Early Intervention Program. The Early Intervention Program was an initiative of the Department of Immigration.
It's a service that provides assessment and counselling for refugees and humanitarian entrants when they first arrive.
What the Early Intervention Program enables us to do is to identify people who are at risk, who are vulnerable as a result of experiences that they have survived, and try and provide them with psychological interventions.
At the time of the conflicts in the former Yugoslavia, a special visa was given to people from Kosovo. It was called Operation Safe Haven.
We suddenly had 2 weeks to put a team together in order to receive those thousands of refugees as they were coming over, and then provide services to assist them with the challenges and the process that we're going through.
I was involved as a team leader of the STARTS counselling team at Singleton Safe Haven. One of the most wonderful things that I've seen happen has been the relationship that was developed between the Kosovars and the town of Singleton.
I think it was one of those challenges that helped us to grow as a service. Shortly after, the crisis in East Timor blew up. Lots of people were murdered, lots of facilities were burned down. Operation Pradet was a project that was set up to train East Timorese workers to work effectively with trauma. And it was difficult, it was very challenging, but it was also a tremendously gratifying experience.
Hi Randy, welcome. Please come in. STARTS is really an innovative service, and we are trying to involve new techniques, new therapies, anything that can help our clients.
Keeping myself out of trouble and putting myself into trouble, helping them.
The neurofeedback is basically training the brain to work in a different way.
The way I was before compared to now, teachers tell me I'm supposed to like...
Vandy is a 14-year-old boy from Sierra Leone. Vandy has a problem with ability to control his anger, and therefore he was not able to focus, to concentrate, pay attention at school.
All the days back at school and all this other stuff, I would be complaint time.
Vandy responded very well on this treatment.
Now I can do stuff with my friends, do talks with my teachers.
He's better focused, he's much happier. His father said that he's smiling a lot and he's better engaged with his friends as well. We're trying to keep client alert, engaged, relaxed. And when that is happening, client is winning the game. So he can score some diamonds, it can come first in a space race. But if client is anxious, nervous, then pictures stop moving. Rockets that are in a race are winning against his rockets, so he gets very clear feedback that's not the direction where he needs to go.
Now just relax, and Mediana is playing with her own computer. She knows what I need help with and knows what I'm capable of.
Every male and female have rights.
FICT is the Families in Cultural Transition. It is an early intervention program.
Families in Cultural Transition is another STARTS project.
They train people from different backgrounds. They're called bicultural facilitators.
They develop their confidence and develop their skills as facilitators.
They go back to their communities and facilitate these programs with them. So it's helping those people to adjust to the society, the Australian society.
She was isolated, she had a young baby, we were able to get support to her. Right now we're about to have 2 of our facilitators run a sort of mock session.
I'd like you to tell me what perception back home in your country regarding men and women.
Where Sri Lanka is concerned, males take decisions. Wives and sisters, they have to agree.
That's a very good point that you made. Anyone
We'll go back to the third last paragraph just here. Now, would you like to read it, Malala?
Volunteers provide a whole range of different services. They assist with fundraising, they work alongside counsellors, they are helping as volunteer English teachers, they're helping refugees who are interested in starting their own businesses, all kinds of things.
This is an English class for refugees newly arrived in Australia.
She went to university, there she studied English and French. She goes to doctor.
We're all trained English teachers. A lot of the young men we started teaching are now working, and their families have arrived from their own countries with their children, and the children are going to school. So I'd say the classes have been very successful.
When the people live a long way.
When STARTS began, most refugees were settling in Western Sydney. Now refugees are quite widespread.
As immigration has settled more and more people in areas like Coffs Harbour, Bathurst and so on, then we've started providing more direct services in those areas.
STARTS has done far more than I think those first people who were involved in it ever could have imagined.
STARTS employs over 100 people and provides services across New South Wales. STARTS has assisted clients from over 70 nationalities through its clinical programs and many more thousands through its community development and group program streams.
The main success is the thousands of people whose lives we've been able to impact on.
What happens when people have post-traumatic stress disorders is that their world loses colour. They have a world that's in black and white. If I were to say what STARTS is trying to do, I think it's really trying to put some colour back into people's world.
I have been with STARTS from the beginning, and I've seen it struggle to grow and blossom into what STARTS is today. Always innovating to be an international leader in the field.
Today, we honour an organisation and a people that have played such a vital role in our community.
20 years on, we still see ourselves as a learning organisation, committed to learn from our clients, from our partners, from scientific advances in related fields, and of course, from our own experiences and mistakes.
START's forged a new way of thinking in how we support victims of torture and trauma.
During my time on the START's Management Committee, I've been amazed at how many of you give so willingly, so constantly, and with such good grace.
We know that torture and trauma can have an absolutely devastating consequence, but what you and your predecessors have done has been to enrich Australia greatly.